Hey all, Tony here. I wanted to do a video today just to go over a situation that I found myself in last weekend and actually just recently this week. Really important because it actually could have meant that I had my Amazon account suspended. And it was something and nothing, but it's really important, and I wanted to kind of share how I got out of jail very quickly. And if you're ever in this situation, then you can then follow the same steps. Now, I've been selling an Xbox game. I sell loads of Xbox and PS4s, PS3 games on Amazon, and I've been selling this particular game for a number of months now consistently. Great margin, fairly low competition, regular sales, and I've got a high level of units available at the fulfillment centres for customers to purchase. And on Sunday, I received a customer message following his purchase a week or so prior, stating that, and I'll pop a copy, an image of the message, and it was also feedback, negative feedback about the game. Within console games and some PC software games, there are DLC codes or serial numbers within the leaflet inside the consoles. And if you're selling PC games or console games that don't have the leaflet inside with the serial number, you could have issues on your hands, especially if it says it is, because these codes are available to the customer to then enter when they register with the specific provider. In this example, it was Xbox, to then open up the game, allow all the levels to be accessible, and potentially also, depending on the game, to provide them with bonus content. Anyway, for this particular unit, the DLC code was inside it, but for some reason it was customer error. He was entering in what he thought was the correct serial number, and because he'd done it more than one or two times, it kept failing. It kept saying that the DLC wasn't recognised. Potentially not my issue, probably his issue, but the phrase and the information or the text that he added to my feedback in relation to the product flagged an issue, and he used the dreaded term counterfeit. Because the DLC code didn't work, whether he had fat fingers or not, he was having an issue. His customer experience wasn't great. He'd purchased it from Amazon, and he used the phrase that he thought that the game was counterfeit. Now, interestingly, I received his message first because it was at the weekend. I didn't have any members of staff working and checking the account health, and at that time there was no problems with regards to any policy violations being raised. I dealt with his message, and he was actually a very happy customer. And basically what happened was, regardless of, it was his mistake or whether or not it was enclosed or it wasn't, what I said that I would do, because he used the counterfeit phrase in his feedback, I got in contact with the supplier to ensure that, obviously, the authenticity of where they're getting the products, but at the same time, I dispatched another unit to him directly, that within a day or two, he was then able to come back to me, and I was in constant communication with him to say, yeah, absolutely all cool, no problems, the new DLC and this game is working all fine. Now, obviously, I was out of pocket by about, I think, £12 and a bit of administration time, because I was dealing with it over the weekend and in the lead up to the start of this week. But I wanted to ensure that he was happy and we got it resolved. And I didn't just simply say, hey, contact Amazon and get a return, because he'd used the phrase counterfeit. Another phrase that's not great is inauthentic. They flag big issues and potentially could cause an issue with regards to your selling account. So I took action, resolved the situation with the customer, and obviously I was using the messenger section, or the message section on my Seller Central account. So Amazon, if they needed to review that at a later date, can actually see the flow of communication between me and the customer. Now, I thought that was all good, all resolved, no problem, done and dusted, happy customer. And then what happens a day previous to today, I receive a big authenticity smack round the face and a notice in my Seller Central account, which my team member actually raised with me directly. This was a big red flag, and I wanted to jump on it as soon as possible. So not only did I get a notice under my account health saying 1, and then a big red triangle next to authenticity compliance violation or policy. I also got an email from Amazon requesting me to appeal to get my listing that was now deactivated. So I've got over 100 units of this item. The listing was completely deactivated, and they're asking me to appeal and also do it within a 90-day time frame and potentially have my accounts or my selling privileges revoked. So you can kind of understand the stress I was going through at that time. And so what did I do? First and foremost, I got my team. Obviously, I've got a team member that all the purchases we make, they obviously obtain VAT invoices where VAT's not due, and they're uploaded to the accountant's drive. So I managed to pull all of those off, and it wasn't just for the last purchase we'd made from the supplier. I needed to find all of the invoices in relation to all the stock we've ever listed on Amazon. So you can kind of just imagine how many invoices that took me and the time it took. Not only that, I had to then create an appeal that identified the root cause, identifies the measures that we were currently in place within the business that we're working and achieving and working towards, and then additional kind of measures we're going to take to provide back to Amazon to basically assure them or provide them with assurance that, this is what we're doing. We understand that, this was an issue that was flagged, and also that, going forward, we're going to put extra measures in place to ensure that this doesn't happen again. I also referenced within that appeal that we had the correspondence with the customer directly, and they were happy at the end of it once we'd resolved the issue, and that they could obviously refer to that chain of communication if they needed to. Now, the first appeal that I did online via the case, so going through the compliance policy page, actually failed because I missed some invoices with regards to the total amount of units we'd listed and sold. So bear in mind, if they ever ask you for all of the invoices to confirm that particular product, if you're ever in this situation, you don't just do it for the last order. You've got to find all of the invoices and have all the invoices for every single unit. So if you've listed 100 units, but you've only sold 50 and you've still got 50 available, you need to provide invoices for all those units. And I made a silly mistake and I missed one invoice, and that's why my first appeal got rejected. Luckily, I then resubmitted the information via email to the email they requested. And within actually a couple of minutes, I got a very quick and prompt response from Amazon, which you can see basically saying we're happy with the information that you have provided us, and we're going to reinstate your listing. So, phew, I was really relieved. So really, this video is just to kind of explain this situation, the phrases that customers could use. So counterfeit, inauthentic, fake. These are all kind of phrases that if they're used within feedback or within messages, Amazon have bots. So basically automations set and that are scanning for key terms or key phrases. So if you ever receive feedback, if you ever receive a message from a customer with these phrases, don't not do anything to resolve it. Make sure that you take proactive action to resolve the situation, even if, and you need to analyze or manage every situation differently dependent on the information that you're provided with. And I'm not saying here, to allow a customer to actually absolutely take the mickey and get a product for free. But in this situation, regardless of whether it being a user error or not, I didn't want my account to be suspended, especially where we are in the year. And also for the cost of 12 quid of selling out another unit to this chap, actually I've made a massive saving in the long run. So really kind of the summary of this and the moral is, the first one, make sure you have got your bookkeeping up to date. It's so important. I always say this, we always say this within our community. Make sure that you've got every invoice, every receipt possible for the purchases you're making it, and make sure you've got a really good filing system if you're not using a bookkeeper already. Second thing, make sure that you resolve issues quickly, promptly. You ask all the information required from the customer or from Amazon if it's seller support, and that will then allow you to make a very quick and prompt decision on the course of action that you need to take so that you can quickly resolve any issues such as this one. And I was just lucky that actually the customer got in contact with me rather than getting in contact with Amazon directly first, because potentially I wouldn't known about it, and we all know what Amazon's like. They don't always give all the information, so I was really appreciative of that customer for contacting me directly. And interestingly also, Amazon removed, I didn't strike through the feedback, Amazon removed the feedback that chap left, which in my book, again, is a bonus. Can't always get feedback removed dependent on the reason and what it confirms, but in this example they took responsibility and striked through it, possibly because it had the phrase counterfeit in, and they didn't want that or anyone else being able to see that. And finally, the third thing is Deactivation Defense. So this is a service that the Online Sellers Circle run. If you want to learn more about this and how you can use this going forward within your business, so that if you're ever in this situation in relation to a Seller Central account verification, any suspensions, deactivations, policy violations, this is covered within the Deactivation Defense service that we operate. So all good news and full steam ahead with regards to my Seller Central account. Fingers crossed no other issues will come this year, and of course if they do, I'm armed with an action plan and the steps and the experience required to deal with those, and we'd like to obviously provide that service to you guys as well. So if you're ever in that situation, reach out to the team and we'll be able to help you and support you through any circumstance that you may find yourself in. Hope you found that useful. If you've got any questions or comments, pop them below and I'll be happy to answer them. Bye for now.